What is going on? I'm ZMOT. Boom Beach universe is expanding. The Boom Beach Frontlines is finally launching. Super stoked on this. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this. October the 19th. Now, this is launching exclusively in the Canadian App Store. You don't have to be in Canada, but you have to have access to the Canadian App Store. I'll leave it up to you guys to figure those details out. There's lots of tutorials on YouTube. Hopefully, you guys jump in and get access to this because they have done a ton of new stuff to this. Now, you'll notice they've got all sorts of leagues based on your number of trophies. You get trophies just like in Boom Beach by winning battles. There's all sorts of matchmaking that goes on in the background. I'm not going to cover that. Gonna keep moving forward. So you'll see that I am on headquarters level 5. The farther you go, the more cards you have access to. So if you're wondering why I have 10 chests unclaimed, there's two ways of thinking about this. You can either open all your chests at HQ level 1, 2, 3, or 4, getting all of those low-level cards. My way of thinking was I waited until I got to HQ level 5. That way I have more chances of getting the higher level cards. I'm going to get the mortar bike, the rocket launcher, hopefully these higher level cards, maybe even unlocking firebomber. So if you're on the brink of upgrading your headquarters, I would suggest not opening those chests. I'm going to quickly open all of these mega boxes. Have been waiting just like that. We've got a new card, Super Airstrike, so it was worth for me to hold off. I'm going to jump through. Now, this is the Boom Pass. I have been asking for the Boom Pass for Boom Beach forever. There's also a free pass down below. I don't exactly know how much it costs at the moment. Actually, I don't have any idea how much it costs. Space Ape, which, by the way, made this game. Space Ape is partially owned by Boom Beach. This is not Supercell, though. Just be very clear. This is not a Supercell game. This is Space Ape, who has licensed the property for Boom Beach. But Space Ape is partially owned by Supercell, so a little bit of confusion there. If I misstep, please, at any point, let me know. I'm just going to fly through these. Now, one thing that Brawl Stars does very well is it makes it very... Look at that new card I was just saying. Makes it very obvious when you get a new card. Boom Beach Frontlines also giving that sparkle. I am getting the Zuka. Now, Zuka, if you've ever watched me play Boom Beach, you know that I love the Zukas. So super stoked to be getting that card with you guys on board. I'm going to fly through these, hopefully get some upgrades done. Now, in the previous iterations, in the alpha and the beta and all of those sorts of things, the coins were not super useful. But now, with all the balancing they've done, the coins are about perfect. Now, you'll notice that you can use those gems to get moving forwards. Now, gems, if I go to the shop here, you'll see that are not currently available. I am playing with a dev build. This build is only for select creators and people on Discord. But, like I said, October the 19th in Canada. Go jump in, grab this game. It's very fun. They've brought a whole bunch of the soul of Boom Beach along with it and just kept it fresh and interesting. I love the fact they have these little filters. Boom Beach could definitely use to include some of these filters. For example, filtering when searching for task forces. But I'm going to focus on Boom Beach Frontlines, and their art and their game design so far is super fresh. They are super stoked on Boom Beach, and I can't say the word super one more time except for when I get the Super Airstrike. So just one thing to be aware of: the Airstrike and the Flame Strike and the Super Airstrike, they all damage your troops, so you need to be careful of where the heck you're going to put that. New unit, we can't filter based on new unit, but based on all of that, we know that we've got the Zuka as our new unit. Very stoked on that. So one thing to be aware of is in previous iterations, you randomly got your troops based on whatever spun, kind of like how you figure out which vehicles you get. But in this instance, they've added the landing craft, which is used as your battle deck. So I'm going to swap my Zuka in. I'm going to get rid of the Flamer. I don't tend to use the Flamer, but the Zuka, yeah, you better believe we're going to be doing that. So Gonna quickly go through the battles. You see over here, we've got 0 out of 20 stars on the right-hand side. The only way you can unlock chests is by using those gems to move forward in the boom pass, or by collecting stars. Now, what does that say? Every little while, every 4 hours, you get 3 stars moving down the line. So this battle, I'm not going to be able to get stars, but I can get XP to get that headquarters going. I can also get victory points to get progress into the next league. So we're going to do a couple battles here, 1, maybe 2. Now, depending on which vehicles come up, I have a little strategy I like to use. So armored car, not a big deal. We're just going to go with Zuka to start with. You can see up the top here who on your team is using which troops. We've got 0 medics, so I'm actually going to switch to medic. Now, one thing to be aware of is that the NPCs are mixed in at the moment. You'll start to recognize their names, like Wolf, for example, over here is definitely an NPC. Raider is not. One other thing to be quick and aware of is if you double tap on the screen, you can give instructions. Like if I want him to go over to here, I just double click and you'll see that exclamation mark come up. You can also double click on barriers to tell your team that they should take cover, for example. So double click on a person, give them a good job. I'm about to die because I was in the 4x4 that went to the wrong side. I'm not entirely sure why that driver was heading over there. I'm going to switch over to Zuka's here. Unfortunately, you cannot switch once you've dropped your troops. In that instance, I would have loved the opportunity to switch to a medic while I was still in my home base, but that is not something that's available to us. Can we reach that from over here? Nope, the moat is in the way. The sniper can get us, but we can't get that. So a little bit unfortunate. The sniper sees me coming, picked me off. This is not going well on the battle. One thing that wasn't super obvious there is if you die while you're carrying one of these 3 abilities, either the baby turret, the fire strike, or the heal, it drops it. So it's not lost. It is still placed. So now moving forwards, this is kind of like capture the flag with a time limit. So the goal here is to capture both of the flag areas. That's one way to win. The other way to win is to, if it goes to sudden death at the end, at the very end of that timer is super, super critical. So you'll see as soon as that time gets down to 0, if we have a spot, if we have, I don't even know what these things are called, a base, A or B, and they have nothing, we also win. So a couple ways to win there. You see the mortars, that mortar throwing out huge, huge skulls, and then once those things land, they do all sorts of damage. So kind of a mishmash at the moment, not really focusing on one thing. One thing that you definitely do want to focus on, though, is medics. Anytime someone comes in with medics, you want to aim at the medics. The medics are super, super critical to get rid of because otherwise you're just going to get ruined by people's troops. Now, this game does use an auto aim. You'll see that as you scroll out, you can choose where to aim. You can't really focus on one specific person. If someone jumps in front, they will take over what you're aiming at, and there's a great way to take advantage of that. If someone is coming at you here, like this bishop person, or this no-we chalk person, you can hide in behind your headquarters. Their auto-aim will force them to aim at the headquarters. They can't shoot you. So little way to take advantage of the mechanics of the game, knowing that they can't shoot you because there's a building in front of you. So simply hide behind the building, and then just like that, we're going to be able to shoot that person. Now, I believe they're inside a medic zone. Someone has dropped a heal, so we're going to have to be a little bit careful here because they're going to be able to shoot us. And I've already gone through the tutorial on this, but same sort of idea. You drastically reduce the amount of damage you take if you take cover behind something like this bunker right here. So this person coming in, dropping the mini turret, we know that we're going to get that mini turret coming at us, but not a big concern because we can take cover right here and take out that medic. Medics, super, super useful. Now, one thing to be aware of is you can add your friends in this game. Friends, you can squad up, get a game going. Now, playing by yourself is a good time. A little bit of an awkward moment there. Don't take that the wrong way. Moving forwards, though, playing in a squad with voice chat makes this game so much more fun. I highly, highly recommend playing this game in a voice squad because it just makes all of the things better. It is so, so much more fun to play this in a voice squad. And making strategies up, talking to your teammates, and rushing. The fastest way to win this game is to rush one HQ and then go get the other one. You'll see we're about to win because that time's about to expire. So very, very time. Watching the clock in this game is super, super critical, because what can happen is if they take B there, they then take our headquarters in sudden death and quick way to lose. So I'm not going to get too deep into strategy on this, but one huge strategy that you need to pay attention to is paying attention to that clock. The clock, the timer on this game, super critical. Now, I've been using cluster. I have not seen anyone else use the cluster troop. Cluster is essentially a grenadier. I'm not entirely sure if grenadiers are in this. I have missed. They did got a big shout out to Space Ape. They did a fantastic talk amongst the. Actually, here we go. This is my favorite strat. Jump in with medic, keep your troop alive, farming those points up in the top right hand corner, and coming back with a tank. It is the fastest way. Oh, they're saying to go to B. We're going to go to B. Skahar. Oh, they're changing their mind. So all of the players, they are tiny emotes. Not entirely sure if there's going to be more coming later on, but I really like the fact that we can get all of these out here. And tiny little details like this are a great way to keep the game active and keep people chatting amongst themselves, even if it's as simple as throwing out those little tiny take cover buttons. Now, you'll notice that I said I'm going to farm for a tank. That means on my initial run, I almost never buy that heal, almost never buy that mini turret. I just find that using medics, I can get all of the points that I need to come back and get that tank. A little bit selfish. I definitely should be spending more to build the cannons and protect our headquarters, but I just find that it's an easy way to come back with the tank. And once you get a tank, you are almost guaranteed to get into that top level, either getting the most points on your team or the second most, and leading your team to victory. So if you have a tank or a Scorcher, I highly recommend jumping in and getting it as soon as you possibly can, because it's going to lead your team to victory. So as far as upgrading cards go, I personally love the medic. I love the Zookas. I love tanks. I don't typically use a heck of a lot of assaults or snipers, but snipers are incredibly effective, jumping in, sniping people, and then moving out of range. So lots of troops here. They're fairly well designed, all of them. You're gonna have tough choices as far as which battle deck you're gonna want to come with. For me, taking the sniper out was a tough choice, but it's one that I definitely don't regret. So you'll see one thing you can do as a medic, I said you can't switch troops, but what we can do here is run back to our headquarters, our launch point, and jump in, grab a tank, and now we should be able to come in and absolutely crush these fools. So A has been neutralized, our team is taking A, they're trying to take B, but we're going to come in with a tank and hopefully ruin these dudes. Now, we're going to focus on their armored vehicle. Taking down the armored vehicles, super useful. Now, you can drive over people. Like, it's that simple. You can literally drive over people in your tank, which, if you've ever played Fortnite, is very similar. That was probably my worst ever usage of a tank. I gotta say, this is not a great display of skill. This is probably my worst match or set of matches I've ever had. But really doesn't matter. There's lots of fun to be had, and hopefully you guys are excited about this. This game is very different than Boom Beach. It's more similar to Brawl Stars than Boom Beach, to be completely honest, but it's fun and it's simple, and there's a lot of strategy involved as well. So you can play this as simple and silly as you want, but you can also step it up and bring all sorts of team efforts and strats with it as well. So I highly recommend voice chat. I can't stress this enough. And if you're looking for a squad, do consider joining my Discord. We've got all sorts of players who are stoked to jump in. We should have a game going at any point. And on top of that, Boom Beach Frontlines. Space Ape has been good enough to bring the code system into the game. So they have added code ZMOT to the game, which, if you are considering playing this game, please consider throwing code ZMOT into that box. Now, even if you don't put my code, I stress this every single time, please consider putting someone's code in that box. There are far fewer creators in Boom Beach Frontlines at the moment, but do consider throwing a code in there. I don't have a list of them all, but please throw mine in there. We should... Oh, look at this. Both A and B have been taken at almost the exact same time, so this is going to come down to sudden death, and it's going to be a tight one. So one thing to be aware of is you can drive inside those medic spots, and we've got a tank at the exact perfect time, so we should be able to cruise into A. Now, there are multiple paths into each headquarters. I like to come in the back door. Again, no innuendos intended, but looks like we are probably going to lose based on what our base looks like so far. Not doing... Couldn't even get my tank in there. So, win the first game, crushed on the second game, but at least we got that top ace score, which means that if there were stars available, we would have got an extra star. I think the most stars you can get is 5. Not entirely sure. I know I've gotten 4 in the past, but that is all, my friends. 16 minutes of Boom Beach Frontlines fun. Now, if you notice in the background, every new troop you get is doing something different, whether it be the heavy barbecuing. In this instance, we've got our flamer barbecuing on the left-hand side. But anyways, that is going to be all for me. Just wanted to get this video out there, let you know one last time. October 19th, the Canadian flag flying bravely out there. And a fun game. Now, I am not entirely sure how often I'm going to upload Boom Beach Frontlines, but I will play it by ear, see how it goes. Still going to be doing all sorts of Boom Beach warships, etc. There is crabs on the beach. There are starships, sea stars, and messages in the bottle. So the Boom Beach universe has been expanded in the best possible way. They have brought all of the little tiny details in. Really liking this. So give it a shot in the Canadian App Store. Anyways, that is all for me. I shall talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm ZMOT. Peace.